Hi everyone. So I wanted to talk to you today about being bored. Okay, so how many of you watching this can say that recently you've been bored? I know for me it doesn't happen very often, if ever. It was certainly something that happened to me as a child. And I was having a conversation with a client earlier, and I was running a quantum breathwork session for my clients, and one of them said that they really felt a sense of spaciousness. They'd released all of their emotions through the session, and they were feeling like there was sort of this void, this emptiness, but it was a really good emptiness and they didn't experience it very often. And it really got me thinking, how often do we allow for emptiness? How often do we allow for that? I mean, it talks about it in the Rebecca Campbell Oracle cards, the fertile void, the space for the seed to grow. How often do we allow ourselves to be bored so that we can be creative? Or all the time are we constantly focusing on the next thing, scrolling on our phones, focusing on the next thing that we need to do? And this is so important for our brain to give us that space, firstly to get out of fight or flight mode, because when we're moving from one thing to another to multitasking, we're creating that fight or flight mode to switch on, and then our body and brain thinks it's unsafe, and we know that has a whole host of effects, including cortisol being released, and all sorts of things happening there. But when we really allow ourselves that time of nothingness, that can be where the magic happens. So for me, sometimes this is, going out for a walk in nature, not having my phone on, not looking at my phone, just being really present with nature. And we know the importance of mindfulness and how mindfulness helps us with our productivity, our focus, our creativity. So having that space where we are simply in the present moment and we don't have all of those distractions is really important. And this is also important for phases in our life and business as well. So as well as literally giving ourselves the spaces to be in that creative flow, or that space where there's nothingness, so we can birth something from that, there's also the seasons. Of course, there's the literal seasons. So a really good mentor of mine once said, look outside. What do you see outside? What is happening outside? Is it dark? Is it winter? Is it cold? And what are the seasons telling you? Do we need to be coming within more? Or is it more summer and we can kind of go out more? So we can use the seasons outside to help influence that as well. But these seasons for us are really important, and in particular in our businesses, if we are constantly on the go doing the next thing, then especially if you're a manifesting generator like me, you need to be responding to the audience. And what I found is, when I give myself that time and I give myself that space and I allow myself to have a season where I'm not launching, then it gives me that space to fully hear my clients, to listen to what they're saying, to listen to the things that are being said within my community, and then be able to create from that space. And that is where that seed starts to grow from that fertile void. But we need to have that space there first. And going into the quantum realm can help with this as well. So I've just come off a quantum breathwork session that I was facilitating for my clients. And when we go into that quantum space, everything is limitless. So firstly, it can help us in the moment, just giving ourselves that time and space. Like, how many times do you allow yourself to be bored? How many times do you turn your phone off, turn the TV off, put the book down, and allow yourself to just be? Considering it as seasons, and then we can consider it as the quantum as well. And you can see why quantum in my previous video, but quantum is so important because we go past all perceived limitations, because anything is possible in that space. If you can see something in your vision, so those of you that have worked with me and we've done that big vision and mission meditation together, the things that you can see in that vision are showing you a version of yourself that already exists. So when we get into the quantum field, we collapse space and time and enable us to step into that version of ourselves. So that is what we are doing when we go into the quantum. So going into the quantum gives us that void, gives us that space for creation, but also gives us that opportunity to really shift and manifest into where we want to be, and consider possibilities that we wouldn't have already considered. Because again, a lot of the time we have closed, fixed focus, we have biases and perceptions, and by enabling us to lift ourselves out of that and go into the quantum realm where anything is possible, then truly anything is possible. Anything that we desire can come into our world. So that is my summary of today, being in the void. Allow yourself to be bored, allow yourself to have seasons, and allow yourself to get into the quantum. And if you'd like some support from me, if you'd like to try out one of my quantum breathwork sessions, then please get in touch. My link is in the bio.